Hello, my loves. I know over the last few months I've alluded to having some difficulties and that my content has stalled a little bit. I've had to put much of my long form content on hold, unfortunately. In fact, I think from my point of view, my content creation rollback has honestly been particularly tough on me. It's really taken a toll and it's made me feel quite guilty and honestly a little bit ashamed. As my health troubles started getting pretty bad, I had to say, okay, no more weekly long form videos. But I'm still gonna put out a video each month. And then things got worse. And so I said, okay, I can't get a long form video out this month, but I'm still going to stay on top of my weekly grammar drops and my words of the day and my info cards. And then things got worse. And so I said, okay, I can't stay on top of my grammar drops, but I'm still going to stay on top of my words of the day and my info cards. And then things got worse. And as all this was going on, I tried really hard to stay strong. And I tried to say, it's okay, this is just a small hiatus. I tried to say, thank you all for your patience. I'll get back to my regularly scheduled content soon. But the truth is, I think I owe you all an explanation. This is going to require a little bit of unmasking, so I want to be quite direct with you. Fair warning, this video is going to get very intimate. We're going to talk about surgery, trans healthcare, and, well, physical trauma. The last thing that I want is to sensationalize things in any way, shape, or form. I don't. Making this video is not, for me, about garnering sympathy or your pity. Actually, the truth is, this is a very vulnerable moment for me. I feel guilty. I feel ashamed. But also, I feel like you all deserve to know the truth from me. If my content ever really brings me a whole lot of success, then I want that success to come from my hard work. Not because people saw a video where I was crying about how much pain I'm in. I just wanted to make that clear, that this isn't about numbers. It's not about the algorithm. It's not about... I don't know any other way to say this. The truth is, all I want is just to teach Japanese and to help people level up their abilities. I want to inspire people to work hard. I want to inspire people to be voracious for new knowledge. And basically, I want to inspire people to better ourselves every day. Because those are things that are important to me. Those are things that I want to do. I want to better myself every day. I like to say that I'm a very genuine person. I believe that I'm a very genuine person. Mask off. Two things can be true at once. I can revel in my small wins while also feeling defeated at the things that I've lost. I can want to be a great teacher and be primarily interested in your achievements as you strive to learn Japanese, guided in just a tiny, tiny small way by my humble teaching. But at the same time, I can also be interested in my own welfare. I can love you all, and I can still love myself. And these dualisms are something that I'm going to talk seriously about in this video. Because I'm going to talk to you about the best / worst decision I ever made. Today I'm going to talk to you about the surgery, why I decided to get it, how it wrecked my life, how it's still wrecking my life, and why I feel that I would do it over again anyway. It's Christmas 2020, and my life has just changed forever. Changed in ways that I never could have anticipated. Sometimes you just have no idea how your life is going to radically shift from even the tiniest ripple, but
big things have small beginnings.
in this chilly December of 2020, while we were all living through lockdown, and it really felt like the world was on the verge of social collapse, I met Witch Hazel Hyena. I didn't know at the time that Hazel was someone who was going to become my best friend, my nurse, my editor, and as of this week, my wife.
My wife!
As you all already know, I am a trans woman. I've been out as trans for most of my life, and yes, I was a trans child. I knew that I was trans at 5 years old. No one coached me on this. No one groomed me. No one influenced me. I was not indoctrinated, and there is no such thing as a woke mind virus. At 5 years old, I could verbally express that I felt more comfortable moving through the world as a girl than I ever would as a boy. Granted, I wasn't afforded the luxury to actually be myself at that time, but that doesn't really matter. What does matter is that when Hazel and I met in December of 2020, I was already living full-time as a woman. I worked in an office where everyone knew me only as a woman. In fact, many of my coworkers didn't even know that I was trans. They just knew that I was a woman, and that I spoke Japanese, and that I was a diligent worker, and that I was more than happy to put my name to any of my work with pride. I already felt very strongly that I wanted to get the surgery, sometimes called GAS or gender affirming surgery. I had been squirreling away money for years, doing everything that I could to make sure that I had a good job with good health insurance and a foundation upon which to build a little nest egg so that I would be able to afford what I needed. But at the same time, I kind of wasn't in a rush, you know? Like, surgery's scary stuff. It's a big decision, and I was okay waiting until I had the money that I needed, until I had the support that I needed, until I had everything all in place. It didn't matter to me if that was going to take most of my life or not, because I knew that eventually it would all fall into place. That surgery really had become kind of the central pillar of my life. When people would ask me what I would do in my free time, I would say that I spent most of my time working so that I could save up for that surgery. When people would ask me on dates, I would say that I didn't really have time to socialize because I was focused on changing my life for the better. I went to college so I could get my surgery. I went to grad school so I could get my surgery. I worked hard to build a better life for myself because I was single-mindedly focused on that surgery. It's all I dreamed about. While other girls were dreaming of white knights on horseback, I was praying to all the gods in all the heavens that I would be able to scrimp and save and scrounge enough that I would eventually be able to make my dream come true. My simple dream of just feeling that my body was in alignment with how I felt deep, deep, deep down in my heart, how I had always felt. I just wanted to feel normal. To those of you who will inevitably say that I needed therapy, you're wrong. I was in therapy. I was in therapy the entire time. And not just one, no. I've been in therapy for almost my entire life. And for a significant portion of my life, I was actually seeing 2 different therapists independently. I'm lucky because the entire time I was at university, I had access to mental health care. During undergrad, I saw one campus therapist one private sector therapist, and I also participated in regular group therapy. During grad school at my university, the University of Wisconsin-Madison, go Badgers! The school provided me with 2 different healthcare professionals who oversaw both my diagnosis of gender dysphoria, but also helped me regulate my hormone treatments and also my diagnosis of complex post-traumatic stress disorder, which is a diagnosis that was entirely unrelated to me being trans. So, long story short, when I happened to meet Hazel, I was in a place where I was nearing my goal, but I hadn't yet been able to put all of the pieces together. I had the financial stability, but actually I was having a whole lot of trouble finding a surgeon that would agree to perform my surgery. I had spoken to a dozen or so surgeons around the country, and they all had this or that reason why I wasn't a good candidate in their eyes. It was also, COVID. It was COVID, and a lot of those doctors were like, not right now. When we met, I knew that I loved Hazel immediately. I really believe that you don't find love except when you least expect it. But I also really believe that there's nothing like love to suddenly compel you to become an idiot. Even for someone like me, who tends to be financially responsible and dedicated to my unique purpose in life, well, it's true what Elvis said. Only fools rush in. My life was about to really radically change. And my priorities were about to really radically change with it. My body image was about to radically change. I was going to fall into a path in which one day my dreams are going to come true, so I just have to stay the course and work hard. Was about to shift into, oh no, there's sudden urgency. And if you can't figure out why I was suddenly feeling this sense of pressure to undergo this intense surgery, well, maybe you're not quite old enough to be watching this video. Hazel and I corresponded online for almost a year before we decided to try living together. During that time, I revamped my efforts to find a surgeon who would agree to take me on and perform my surgery. And honestly, for the most part, no dice. And then, as strange as this sounds, a few things happened in sudden, rapid-fire timing.
A couple things are gonna happen.
It was a Monday. I was working, and I was preparing to take a 1-week vacation. On Friday of that week, I was going to be leaving to meet Hazel in person for the very first time. Suddenly, my cell phone rang. It was a number from Washington, D.C., and I hesitated. I was running through my brain. I was trying to think who might be calling me from Washington, D.C. Then I remembered that I had blitzed out about 100 different messages to about 100 different surgeons in my quest to find someone who would perform my surgery. And somewhere in some months prior, I recalled that one of those surgeons was from the DC area, so I answered the call. The friendly receptionist on the line told me that the doctor was able to see me for a consultation, and could I come in around the first of the year? Great. Awesome.
Fantastic.
So it seemed like it was turning out to be a pretty cool week. I was about to meet Hazel in real life over the weekend, and then I got this news that at least I was finally able to have a consultation, because literally no other surgeon had even been willing to give me a consultation prior to that phone call. I had tried so hard for so long just to get a doctor to agree to meet with me, and none of them were willing to. And then it was Thursday of the same week. I was actually at home packing things for the road trip. I was getting ready to leave the next day. Hazel and I lived 3 states away at that point. We had never met in person. We didn't actually know if we were even going to mesh in person with the same kind of success that we had had online, and I was incredibly anxious. Y'all already know how anxious of a dog I am all the time. And I was there trying to decide if I should pack the blue dress or the gold dress, and suddenly my phone rang again. It was that same number from Washington, D.C. Same number again. My heart sank. I literally felt the room going dark because I absolutely believed 1000% that they were going to tell me, actually, we need to cancel, or we need to delay, or there's a problem with your insurance, or we're going to need a huge deposit. Something was going to go wrong. I just knew it. I felt as though I was about to walk the plank. But I answered the phone, and it was the same friendly receptionist. And she told me that they had had a cancellation, and that there was an opening next week. Let me make this as clear as mud. The doctor had an opening and was willing to meet me the same week that I had already taken off work because I was traveling across the country to meet Hazel. And wouldn't you know it, as the crow flies, Hazel was closer to DC compared to where I lived. I took the appointment without a thought. Better to ask for forgiveness than permission. I was going to have to cut my time short with Hazel. So I hopped online and I told them the news. And to my immediate and stunned surprise, they said they wanted to go with me. They said they wanted to meet the doctor. They said they wanted to hold my hand. When I learned whether or not the doctor would be willing to take me on as a client and finally bring my dream to life, the dream that I had had ever since I was a little girl. Now, I really want to make this quite clear. I had already been trying for more than 2 years just to find a surgeon. I also knew at the time there were more than a dozen girls in my life that I knew who were also waiting for their surgeries. Many of them had found surgeons, but they were put on a wait list that would sometimes be 2 or even 3 years long. It was just this incredible stroke of luck that in the same week I had been offered a consultation, and then by some strange universal coincidence, someone canceled, and my name just so happened to be on top of that friendly receptionist's mind or her inbox because she had spoken to me so recently. I'm gonna be honest. It felt like God. It felt like the Christian God. It felt like the man with the big beard himself was laying out all the pins for me, and all I had to do was roll the ball. I drove across the country. I met Hazel. We were absolutely delighted to learn that we were just as compatible in real life as we had been online. We continued on to DC. We stayed in a cute little Airbnb. I know, Airbnb sucks, but it was cute and it was fun, and we were in a new relationship, and it was nice. And then I met the doctor who would change my life forever. In another absolutely incredible turn, he was more than willing to perform my surgery. And as Hazel and I sat in his little office talking to him about the ins and outs of what I was signing up for, he told us that he could slot me in for a surgery in December of that same year. Not even 2 months away. And ironically, The surgery date was almost exactly the same day in December when Hazel and I had first met online. Our anniversary, December 16th, which as of this year would also become our wedding day. It felt again like this was all meant to be. For the first time in my entire life, I truly felt the finger of God acting in my life. Divine will. It felt right. Why would I say no? Why would I back out? This was everything I ever wanted for literally as long as I could remember, going back to my earliest memories. I had barely over a month to prepare, but I felt so lucky. I felt like I had cracked the code. Other girls I knew had been waiting for years, and they would be waiting for years longer, and yet here I was. And yeah, what else was I supposed to say other than...
Yes.
I don't really remember much about the next few weeks. Hazel moved in immediately. They moved across the country to be with me, and they promised that they were going to look after me during my recovery. And I told them that the recovery was going to be awful and bloody and very difficult. They said they didn't care. They said that they were more than happy to see me through it and to help me achieve my dream at last. I started to panic about 2 weeks before the surgery. I realized that I was about to achieve this lifelong dream, and yet at the same time, I actually knew practically nothing about what was in store for me. I think that honestly, I had had blinders on for so long.
They were so preoccupied with whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think if they should.
But as anxious as I was about the surgery, I knew I was lucky. I suddenly had this companion who had come into my life out of nowhere and was willing to help me through the process and didn't seem bothered by any of it. It felt unreal. And I want to make it really, really clear that at this point, I didn't really have any family. My family had all left. They had all abandoned me. They had all disowned me for being trans. And now, suddenly, Hazel is there. And Hazel is saying, I will be your family. A found family is so much more profound. So we went back to DC. We got another cute little Airbnb. And I marched off to the hospital and I said, 1 vagina, please. My last thought as they put me to sleep was that it was going to be my birthday when I woke up. Not because it was my actual birthday is in August, but it felt like it was going to be my birthday because it was going to be the day when I was finally born. I'm gonna skip forward a little bit here. I will spare you the early details of my recovery, coming home, dilating for the first time, the blood. There was so much blood. When I went to my first follow-up appointment with my surgeon, I remember him saying, some people bleed a lot during surgery, but you probably bled the most of any patient I've ever had. Fun. Cool story, bro. Hazel and I traveled back home, but I didn't stop bleeding. There was just so much blood. It was literally shocking how much blood there was. I would wake up after sleeping and I would just be covered in blood. The bed was soaked through. It would soak through the bleeding pads that I had laid under me. I wrote emails to my surgeon saying things like, hey, this is a lot of blood. And he would write me back saying, you should try rotating between Tylenol and ibuprofen every 2 hours. Cool. Awesome. But, the blood, I started to feel worse. I expected pain. I've had surgery before. Pain, okay. Pain's fine. I got pain. That's okay. But now, my skin was turning white. I didn't have the strength to lift my arms up anymore. I hurt all the time. I couldn't sleep, but also I couldn't open my eyes. I was thirsty, but if I drank water, I would vomit it immediately. I don't know exactly when I started to believe that I was dying. But when I reached out again to my surgeon, I was told,
alternate between Tylenol and ibuprofen
every 2 hours. I don't know who decided to take me to the emergency room. It must have been Hazel. I don't really remember. But I do remember that when I came to in the hospital, they told me that they had needed to give me 4 units of blood. In the moment, I thought, 4 is not a big number. That's just 3 more than 1. Apparently, 4 units of blood is really significant. As it would turn out, they discovered that during my initial surgery, a tear had somehow occurred between my brand new vaginal canal and my colon, and it wasn't healing. I was constantly bleeding internally, and that blood was coming out. Well, you know where that blood was coming out. I will spare you all of the bloody details. Between January of 2022 and December of 2023, I would go on to need an additional 8 corrective surgeries. I would spend more days in the hospital than I would spend at home. I woke up on Christmas in the hospital. Twice. There isn't much in this world that's quite as demoralizing as spending Christmas morning in the hospital, knowing that everywhere in the world people are cozying up to their loved ones and opening presents and eating cookies, and I'm crying from the pain that doesn't go away no matter how I move. I just wanted to go home and be with my dogs. I just wanted to go home and be with Hazel. I was honestly starting to feel that maybe I just wanted to go home and quietly pass away. But eventually, after 8 surgeries, they did manage to patch up the hole inside me. But in order to do so, I would need to make 2 sacrifices. First, they would end up removing a significant part of the musculature inside my inner leg. They removed a bunch of muscle tissue from my thigh because that muscle makes a much better internal graft than skin does. They told me that I would be fine. They told me that my muscles would recuperate over time. They told me that I would walk again after a while. Second, they told me that in order to patch this hole inside me, they were going to need to permanently seal my vaginal canal forever. They ended any hope that I would ever have of a traditional sex life. There was no choice. It was that or my life. I still feel like a failure. I feel like I let Hazel down, and I feel like I failed at the only thing that I ever really set my mind to in my entire life. I had just one dream in this life. Maybe it was a silly dream. Maybe it was stupid. Maybe. But I just wanted to feel like a normal girl. That's all. I just wanted to feel normal. For nearly a year after my final surgery at the end of December 2023, I had to use a walker to get around because I couldn't stand on my leg. it wouldn't support me. I put my walker away for just a few weeks, and then I realized that I was so unsteady on my feet that I eventually gave in and I started to use a cane. Then I launched this channel and I had some amazing wins. I did some really, really awesome stuff. I got to do some things that honestly I still can hardly believe. In a way, I think of myself as the luckiest unlucky girl in the world. I've got the best friends ever. I have the greatest students ever. I still work hard. I still have a great job. I still give 110% of myself in everything that I do. I love teaching. I love helping. I love being an inspiration. I love being alive. But the pain hasn't gone away. I'm still hurting. Really bad. And over the last 3 months, I've started bleeding again. A lot. The doctors tell me that they can't really explain why I'm hurting so bad. They tell me that while I am bleeding, it's probably nothing. They tell me that I should
Alternate between Tylenol and ibuprofen.
every 2 hours. As of this week, it's been 4 years since my surgery. And it still feels like the only dream that ever meant anything to me ended up being a nightmare. What can I do? Honestly, there's nothing that I can do. I can just keep pushing forward, keep trying, keep fighting, keep doing my best to make quality content when I feel capable of sitting in a chair, which is something that hurts, physically hurts. It physically hurts me to sit. I keep trying to go to work. I keep trying to make money. I keep trying to be a contributing member of a society that often feels like it wishes I wasn't a member of that society at all. I keep facing hate every day. The number of death threats that I've gotten, the number of hateful comments, the amount of erasure. The knowledge every day that some of the most powerful people on this planet just want me to die. Just want me to die. For no reason. Just because I was born different. And I was. I was born different. I will reiterate again. I was a trans child. And that's okay. And now I'm a trans adult. And that's okay too. And yes, despite the fact that the past 4 years have been filled with blood and pain and trauma, despite the fact that I needed 8 additional surgeries just to make right the one surgery that was supposed to make my life right. It was supposed to make me normal. I wouldn't change it. Not at all. Not even in a split second. There's not even one part of me that would take it all back. I would rather be who I am unapologetically than be something that's fake. I'd rather be excess than pretend to be something that I'm not. In spite of the fact that I'm in pain and scared, in spite of the fact that I may be facing additional surgeries in the very near future, in spite of the fact that it's hard for me to make content because it's hard for me to sit, in spite of the fact that I'm probably going to have to walk with a cane for the rest of my life, I would rather be me. I would rather be me. Even as I write these words, I know that this video is going to make me a target by a segment of the world's population who have such deep and intense hatred for people like me. Even in the face of everything that I've already faced, and in the face of everything that I'm still facing, I know that these people are going to cheer and tell me that I need to go and be part of the 41%. I know that this video might be co-opted by some horrible people, powerful people, people who are going to twist my words against me. Tell me what a fool I was. Tell me that I'm not valid. Tell me that the things that I have believed with all my heart for all my life were never real in the first place. I know that there are people who are going to tell me that I deserve this. I have said it before and I will say it again. There is a segment of the world's population right now that is craving genocide of people like me. And while I do feel that it's my right and my responsibility to fight for my right to exist in this world, the truth is that right now, I'm fighting just to stay alive. My doctors have told me that there is a strong chance that I'm going to need additional surgeries in the very near future. They don't know. They've told me that if I do need additional surgery, it's going to be bad. It's gonna be really bad. They know that it's going to be very difficult for me to recover. Because as you have additional surgeries in the same spot over and over and over, recovery gets worse every time. It gets harder every time. And I've already had so much. I've had enough. I'm tired. But at the same time, I have so much to fight for. I'm a new bride. I'm a newlywed. I have Hazel to think about now, and my beloved dogs, my Arya and Sansa. And my beloved students too, all of you. All of your wonderful faces keep me going every single day. Keep me in the fight to try to get better and get healthy. To try to make it through to the other side of this nightmare. So that maybe finally, I can feel something that feels like normal. So yeah, the truth is, I haven't really been able to keep flowing out content as much as I want. And yeah, I do feel guilty. Can't help it. It doesn't matter how many comments I get about how, you all want me to take care of my health first and look after myself and make sure that I'm okay before I think about my videos and my content and all of you. But let's be honest. I'm a teacher. I am a teacher, and this is what I love doing. I love trying my best to inspire all of you, to help you learn and grow. So maybe I would ask from you to take some inspiration from the fact that I haven't given up yet, and I never will. I'm going to keep going for as long as I can. I'm going to keep fighting. I'm never going to give up. But I would ask you to please be patient with me as I take these next steps. I'm afraid that these next steps are not going to be very easy for me at all. And I may need a lot of support. That's all from me. I'm taking a tiny break so that I can spend at least a few days with my new wife. We're not really taking a true honeymoon. We're hoping that maybe next year, maybe I'll be well enough. Maybe we get through the other side of this. Maybe we get through the other side of my surgeries, and maybe we'll be able to put back some money that we'll be able to take a honeymoon together. I would love to go back to Japan and take Hazel. That would be a dream come true. But For now, I need to focus on my health and my next steps. For now, I am sending you warm holiday wishes from your favorite Puppy-sensei. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and I'll see you in the new year.